Hey guys, sorry I haven't done a video in a long time, but today we're going to be going over my World War I British reenacting gear. It's just about the only impression I have that's not the United States, aside from a German World War II impression that I'm currently working on. But my impression for World War I is a very special, particular unit. It's Drake Battalion, Royal Naval Division, and basically at the beginning of World War I, the Royal Navy had so many troops they couldn't fit them on all the ships, so they had so many troops just that had no places on battleships or destroyers or anything. So Winston Churchill, the brilliant man that he was, came up with the idea to put these extra naval troops with the army in the trenches in France. So the Drake Battalion, which is what I portray, which is what you see, the sleeve unit ranking, I guess you could call it. They're called shoulder titles, but I'll go over those later. The dark blue and the light blue are Drake Battalion. But these units were specialty units. They stuck to naval customs and traditions, but had army uniforms and army gear and all that kind of stuff. And they were kind of not liked by British army troops because they still got naval pay, and naval pay was much higher. Well, not much higher, but it was higher than army pay. So they got paid more. They wore beards. They were just different, and they were weird. But it's a specialty unit, and it was nicknamed Churchills Army because Winston Churchill is the one that came up with the idea. So yeah. But all of this is pretty much British Army gear of World War I, with a few exceptions that makes it Royal Navy Division specific. Over here we got my grayback shirt, which is wool flannel. Pretty hot in the summertime, but in weather like this, it's pretty comfortable. And it's got a white ticking collar there with tin buttons. This I got from History Bunker. I got a couple things from History Bunker. I would not recommend getting things from them because they're really not that accurate, and they're just not very good. This ticking collar, which is how they're supposed to be and how they were, did not come with that. It came with a collar that was plain white like that, and it was crap. So that's the shirt. And then these are ID tags. They weren't called dog tags yet, but these are called identification tags. And you have two, just like regular dog tags. And you have a name there, Wilkins T. And the AB stands for Able Seaman, which is the equivalent of a private in the Army. And that's just kind of like the serial number. It had letters and numbers in it. And then you see there it says Drake, which is Drake Battalion. And the different battalions in the Royal Naval Division were named after famous naval officers. Like, I think it was Sir Francis Drake, I think was his full name. So that's who the Drake Battalion is named after. Puttees, which these are not the correct puttees for British. These are actually American puttees because they're a little bit more of a green, and British puttees were more khaki, so I got to get new puttees. But these came from Shipper Fabric, which is a very, very good quality reproduction. They make really good stuff. So yeah, and these are the leg wraps that go around your legs with the boots and stuff. They kind of take the place of leggings. They're really a pain in the butt to get on, but it's all part of the look. Socks, nothing too special about the socks, just wool. Ammo boots, which these were basically the army boots that World War I troops wore in the trenches and everywhere else. Had a heel plate on them, very similar to Civil War brogans, and hobnails, and all stitched there with a kind of a toe plate, I guess you could call it. These do not have toe caps. Actually, I won't get into that. But the one thing about these is that they're not laced like regular boots and shoes today. They're laced very differently. You kind of see how they're laced in there, and then you end up with just one side having all this slack. But I can do a different video if you'd like, showing you how to lace up ammo boots and whatnot. So, and some were brown, some were black. These are black ones. These came from What Price Glory. They are very well made. I have found no problems with them yet. Uniform, we got the 1907 Field and Dress Tunic, and this has the British Seal buttons there, brass, real nice. This also came from What Price Glory. They make really good stuff. I like the weight and feel of the wool. It's, you know, the right color. Everything's nice and correct, and they have really decent prices too. Yep, epaulettes up there, which you put the straps of the web gear through these and then rebutton them. And then these are shoulder titles. Early war they had fabric shoulder titles, and then a little bit later, around I think 1916, they came out with brass shoulder titles, which were basically pins that pinned onto the epaulettes. I still have to get some of those. But that's Drake Battalion, A Company. And then the pocket here is a picture of a battlefield and Soldier's Paybook, which I have not filled out yet. It's just a cool little thing. This is what you would have had to have on you at all times, and you know, being the British, they had a place for everything, and this was required to go in your right hand breast pocket. The way it went was the breast pockets were designed for things of an official nature, and then the bottom pockets were for personal items, or handkerchiefs, anything like that. And so, yep, and then in here is a special little compartment for first aid dressing, and this would have been sewn up, but see if I can get it out. This is just a reproduction of a World War I British field dressing. It's stitched up there. Very, you notice it's not tightly sewn up, so it can easily be ripped open when you need it the most. So I'm not going to shove that back in there, but field dressing. Trousers, nothing too special about these, just wool trousers, pocket watch pocket. These came from History Bunker. I'm really not too happy with them. They work, but they came with these cheesy little plastic buttons, which is not correct. The trousers had tin buttons, so I tried to replace as many as I could with tin buttons, but hopefully sometime I'll get better trousers. And suspenders there, or braces as they were called. Gas masks. Now World War I, of course, is well known for their gas warfare. This is an earlier model called a PH helmet. Came in these bags. This one, the date stamped inside. It's not an original, it's reproduction, but the date inside is 1917. So I think these came out around 1916, 1917. And these were essentially a chemically treated hood, wool felt hood, that you would have put on over your head, obviously, and it had this mouthpiece in here that you put in your mouth and breathe through. And like I said, the hoods were chemically treated, so the gas would vaporize kind of like a filter, and you'd have to tuck all of this into the neck of your tunic. So this is really, it's a process to get it on, so you had to be really quick. Later they came out with the small box respirators, which hopefully I'll get one of those eventually. Bandolier, this is just an Enfield bandolier. I think it's World War II era, not World War I, but same basic style. It works. 1907 web set. Just basically the British web gear of World War I. They have ammo pouches, Enfield bayonet, which is very long. I think it's about 18-19 inches long, but it's really good. And then this is for an e-tool handle. It just kind of goes in there. And that's for the e-tool head. And it was a kind of a pick thing. It had a pick on one end and the shovel head on the other, and the handle went through the middle, and it was a two-piece thing. Small pack, which just, you know, rations. This is also known as the haversack, and it could also be worn on the side when marching. and the large pack would be on the back, but I don't have one of those. Canteen, it's a World War II canteen. World War I era canteens would have had blue enamel. They were blue enamel, so you would have seen blue here, not OD green. But in terms of the construction of them, they're almost exactly the same. And more ammo pouches. And then just the suspenders, that the whole thing, it's all, nothing's, the only way things are really connected to each other is with just basic buckles and straps like that. And the mess kit, just a mess tin. I've cooked in it a few times. Nothing too special about that. It's kidney shaped. White enamel cup with blue edging on there. And just a fork. Nothing too special about that. It's just a, early 20th century fork. Breakout of World War I newspaper, reproduction. A trench orders book, also a reproduction, very nice reproduction. I got both of these from Soldier of Fortune Militaria in the UK, and it just has all kinds of duties and orders, trench orders basically, that soldiers would have had to know if they're going to be in the trenches or go through, like pay, ration issue, rum issue, or rum ration is what it was called, which, being in the Royal Navy, we get rum ration a lot. And then this wool blanket you see here, the British Army in World War I had gray wool blankets. Royal Navy had white wool blankets. Royal Naval Division, I think, had a mixture of both, but I wanted the white. So, just plain white wool, real thick, real nice. I'll go around this way. Trench cap, just wool trench cap with, can't think what it's called, but Drake Battalion, cap badge, that's what it was, a cap badge. You see the ship there. That's nice. Gotta get a new trench cap though. This is history bunker crap. Brody helmet, which this I got from What Price Glory. It used to be more this color, and there wasn't any of this rough, the sand paint on there real good, and the color was weird. So I repainted it, and as I was painting it, when the paint was wet, I would throw fine sand onto the paint, and it would just adhere to the helmet. And now it's a really, really nice, authentic looking helmet. So, yeah, 1916 pattern. Yeah, it's a windy day here. It's a nice day though. 1916 Brody helmet. Different from the Doughboy helmet in some way, shape, or form. Not quite sure what that is. And finally, the Mark I Lee Enfield. This is an original 1941 dated, so it's World War II era. But it's really nice. I've used it. I use it for just World War II events sometimes when I just need a weapon. But it's for World War I. Really nice, beautiful rifle. Like I said, it's 1941 dated. You can see it right there. SMLE, small magazine, Lee Enfield. And yeah, it's got sights there and all kinds of fun stuff. Safety. But it's got a 10 round magazine, so you can hold 10 rounds of ammunition in there, and then if you put another one in the chamber, that's 11. So really, really nice rifle. There's a sling there. So that's pretty much all my World War I gear and equipment. Have any questions about any of it or anything like that, just let me know. Comment, rate, and subscribe.